replace it, it's covering the freaking intake and then moved it, it's better, so.
No, it's not, then you gotta make sure
Wait,
this time,
Like
again.
it to-
To see if you could,
Call the meeting to order. Do we have a quorum? John, could you give your report?
I'll accept the motion for the secretary's report that was in your packet. Any questions? I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Carried. Treasurer's report, Ed.
Circulated via email and included in your packets are the June financials. And I'll entertain a motion.
Make that motion.
John,
Second.
Rick? Any questions?
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Committee reports, John.
Yes, audit committee, we paid bills in June amounting to $863,425.01. Pretty large, but that was mostly due to a payment to Ramsey for construction at Shawmut. That was a $500,000 check. Plus a lot of pilots were due from Alstom and Strobel. So pretty large payment there. Other than that, I'll accept the motion or have anybody has questions first.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Personnel, there's nothing to report at this time. Governance, Rick, report. Mike,
My report's all right. People doing executive session has to do with real estate. Or, hospital update, you want to do an open session, right?
No, I think we can talk about it just in a very general sense. Mike and I had a meeting the other day with Mohammed Ruzak, who has been the chief architect behind St. James since I think 1998, designed the new hospital. He has been retained for services by the owners of the old hospital, Biotech, and they've been putting together, basically putting together a preliminary plan to do a project there. It's in the infancy stages of the project, but we just kind of went over the outline of it. And I'm trying to facilitate a meeting with our state and federal reps to try to bring different resources. And this will be a large project. I don't want to throw numbers around right now. It's a little premature for that, but obviously there would be a need for state and federal assistance to accommodate a project of this size and magnitude. But I think the important point that I'm trying to make is there is some motion, there is some forward progress being made in the background. As things develop, we'll be able to talk a little bit more openly about it. But I think, for this board and for the community standpoint, it's just good to know that there's work being done behind the scenes, and there's a glimmer of hope that this will turn into something. So we'll keep you updated as we go along and as things progress.
They made themselves recent with their taxes and bills.
Yes and no. Over the course of the last few weeks, they've been slowly catching up on things. So they're not all the way there yet, but again, it's progress, and it's would we like it all to be done at the same time and not to fall behind to begin with? Yes, but at least Mike and I have had several meetings. There's been email exchanges, phone calls, phone conferences, and I think they're starting to come around, and especially with the importance of a project. And I've made it very clear that you need to keep current on these things and not let things slide or fall behind. And I understand they have other businesses in other states and different balls in the air at any given time, but we have made it clear, and I think we're starting to get the message.
Okay, the West Street property will actually close tomorrow.
Okay.
We do have Steve Hubertus, surveyor Mitch and Ashley here to work on sketches of what we could do up there, how we could set up live. We're all going to give us an idea of how it could be developed. I don't think Steve is having surgery, so it might cost us a few weeks. He says he can, work anyway. I don't believe it, but I'm not going to push him to do that. Yeah, having pretty serious surgery. We have had preliminaries with developers that I think the project is going to go. Don't know who we have, but we have had interest already. You don't even own it yet.
Do you think we should put out either an RFQ or RFP or both?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think, and that's a couple of things I want to discuss. I think we've got to decide what we want to do already. My opinion is we knock the house down right away and start taking bids for it immediately, because I was there today, but it's bad, it's going to fall down. Get that thing out of the way, and then and I think maybe even take bids for a bulldozer, somebody with a bulldozer.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of site work that has to be done prior to any development up there. Right?
And I think we just got to say, do we want to do it, or do we want the developer to do it? And a developer will have a much better idea what he can do up there when it's clear. But I'll be honest with you, the drawings he will get from Hubertus, he'll know pretty much anyway. And it's just deciding on the size of the lot you want, where the road's going to be. And right now, I think makes sense to put it up in the middle and you have two roads going back. So, but once we own it, we can start doing it and I can put people up there. But like I said, I'd like to start taking quotes on that house and get it out of there because I don't know, we'll make it through another winter. It doesn't look good. And we don't want just a pile of rubble. So we take the quotes if they're too high, or we decide we want the developers to worry about that. But I'll come back with some quotes and we'll see how we want to go from there. It's still, it's a decent piece of property. It's pretty flat. It's covered, but you know, Martin and his youth, you know, recommended in the past. I think we ought to keep looking at other sites because that is our biggest issue here. It's single family housing. There was even a study done. I'm not sure who did it, but I'm not even sure who told me it's done, but that is our biggest need right now. It's family housing.
Well, if you're gonna bolster your local economy with local workers, you want people to come here and say, okay, I'm gonna lay down roots and, yeah, definitely.
It's, you know, let's face it, we're the Hornell idea. We have a lot of jobs coming in a short period of time. We got to live here. And they will if you find a place to put them. They'll live here. But that's our goal, is the economy of Hornell, New York. So it's great that we can find the workers, and that's a challenge. We're also working hard on it. And so is everybody else. So is every other company around. They all need people. But in the end, our goal is to get the people to live here. So, and right now we have a shortage of single. Were you telling me about the study for single family housing with someone else? Within the last year.
Remember when we had the study done for the apartments and all that stuff? There was,
2016, that sound about right.
yeah, there was some mention of that at that point, but I don't remember, I mean, what it was. I know housing units we needed.
You could identified that we were 200 and right around 240, 250 deficient.
Yeah. But I think to get those people to stay, and I think I've mentioned this before, is that, you know, I think we have to have some type of spec for the developer, because I guess in my mind, I'm picturing somebody shoehorning in about 10 houses up there with no yards or no garage, you know, and then, you know, that's not what I would want for a family. I would want something that had a little bit of a yard, and I'm not reaching out the window and shaking hands with my neighbor.
Similar to Bosse's houses.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I think what we do though is we write in any kind of purchase, any agreement we have.
Spec.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Minimum.
There's code to cover that in some cases, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Step back.
Well, you gotta have frontage, you gotta have a certain amount of frontage, but
But the one I've talked to the most, and it was initiated by him. He's done it many times. That he realizes that you guys will have to approve what I'm going to do before I do it. And he has no issue with it. And then also they have to be built so they're affordable by everybody, you know, where anybody can afford them. So I think that everybody is on the same page with that.
There's different models too, you know, if you have a developer and is he just simply going to build and sell, or does he want to lease those?
Sure.
You know, there's different ways to do it, so.
No, you're right.
And the other part of that, and you know, is the site work. Does the agency want to go ahead and do the site work and have it ready and prepared? Or do you try to find a developer that's willing to do that, but then that would add to the cost of.
well, if that's the case, then I don't know, John, maybe you can add that we would want to parcel those lots the way we wanted them then, right? The way we want them.
That's when John and we met with, and the only one wasn't there is Hubertus, but Mitch was there, Ashley was there. That's what we want them to do. And then we can look at what they think we should do, size the lots, where the road is, things like that. And Mitch said, no issue getting up the hill with and it's not much of a hill anyway, with the sewer and the water. So you got city utilities. I mean, it's attractive to build a house.
Yeah.
The program with the Bosse's house has some parameters, and you know, there's a set number of things that they have to do. And I think we started that with our baseline, and then maybe they can have a house that's X thousand more than another one, or a little bigger square foot. And people could, you know, depending upon the interest level, maybe people could have something a little bigger or a little more yard or something like that, so.
But the only issue I went off West Street is the house we're gonna own. That's everything else.
Right, once you get rid of that, it's gonna.
I like the idea of clearing the house out, and while you're doing it, just clear the
No,
entire
I think,
property.
I think we have
Get it
to
level,
get it, because
yeah.
it changes.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It changes.
Probably have to bid that work out. It's
Yeah.
quite expensive because
Yeah.
if you look at the parcels,
Yeah.
if you look at it from the street.
I would include the.
All of a sudden,
entire
you see the trees, you see the tree line in the back, but the parcels they extend
Quite a ways back, yeah.
back.
At the same time, I'll get quotes for both.
Yeah.
But it's never, I'll get a quote, take the house down. It's that thing, we should try to get it out of it before the winter.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah,
There any-
calling it a house is generous.
It is, oh, yeah.
Structured.
I doubt it, but
Is there asbestos or anything?
there wasn't even a heating system in it the last time I knew. That
There
was
wasn't?
12 years ago, yeah, it wasn't.
But you don't know.
It's been that way.
In the tile or.
I know that lived there years ago, yeah.
I will say, with, obviously, we're going to talk to your developers and, you and I have already initiated that. For whatever reason that doesn't pan out, we could always use the BOCES program. And just over a period of years,
Yeah.
populate that one by
That's
one by one.
Using the valley from up there, pretty nice.
Or it could be 50-50. You can do about anything you want, 'cause you
Yeah.
own it all.
Yeah.
So a developer, you get this many lots or buy one at a time or do what you want to do.
You could buy prefab houses, what's the company that, I can't think of the name off the top of my head, they make.
Owl home.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Owl Homes, they.
Several in Pennsylvania, they're easy to get up here, so yeah, that's a possibility.
You
Where
could
my daughter-
match.
They have $1 million house. They bring them in pieces.
Yeah.
Even the foundation, they're all concrete, but they bring them in pieces. They put up a house like that a month.
Yeah,
They approve about 60
Yeah,
people, but
yeah.
but I think,
these are expensive as hell. They're not cheap houses.
I think, I don't remember if it was you or John had mentioned, you don't want, a bunch of them shoehorned in there, where all of a sudden they're not as attractive. Because I think part of the allure up there is space, right? You're on a hill, you have the views, but you want some elbow room as well.
Yeah.
You don't want them just stacked right on top of
Right,
it.
yeah.
You can have conditions too, right? In deeds, I've seen them a million times where I've seen them in deeds before where it says you can have square footage or you can't build something has less than a certain value to it.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
subdivisions and stuff.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Whatever you want in there.
Put some constraints to some of the craziness and it should end up being a very nice neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah.
And over time be a very good income revenue taxable back to the city, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, with the right value. Cool.
Yeah, everything else I have.
I've got one other issue that I just wanted to get an update from you on, the sidewalk extension from Shawmut.
We looked at it. I actually went over there with contractors yesterday.
Okay,
There was 3 local contractors in a 5-mile radius that can do it. 2 of the 3 are planning on working together, so it brings you down to 2. But we did go over, they measured it, we should get a quote. I would think within a week, it may or may not be higher than we might go, because right, conceptually, they want something that looks nice, it really does, but it fits how it already is over there. It's not all concrete, there's some.
there's some asphalt on either side.
But frankly, it'll be our recommendation, if we have the money and it's just not completely outlandish, we do it because it ties into our project, and it goes down and it'll make going all the way down the street to Shawmut look good. It really is. And I think and we will have, I think we will have funds left from our portion of the project out there that we can do something to make it look decent. If you carve it in, you're no better off than you are today.
Yeah,
So.
it's not that long of a stretch, really.
Actually, I think it was 200 feet total.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, it wasn't, it's 130 because initially, I had it measured right to their entranceway, that lot. He doesn't mind leaving his old site. I looked at it yesterday. So what it would do, it would come to the end of his old sidewalk, which is the end of the building, pretty much just around his parking lot, and then it ties in the new sidewalks just about in front of your warehouse. So it would tie it in all the way down. The part in front of the stern match what he's already got. And, you know, we'll see, it really don't look good. But, and they looked at everything in green space, it was, the curving is the big ticket item, I didn't realize that, but we'll see where it comes. It's going on. But we can do bits and pieces, but
What curving would that be? It's all,
when he goes down there, that's the difference.
yeah.
Certain like it to look like in front of the building where you have curved green space, not a lot of it, but you have certain curve.
Oh, okay.
And you cover where you have your ingress and egress.
Right now, it's all
Yeah.
just flat open.
He actually puts barriers up there so the guys don't drive over, but frankly, it's rough across that front
Yeah,
of his parking lot. And some of it's off, you're getting into the street, not all his parking lot.
mhm.
So, but when I get the quote, then we can talk about that and see how far we like the one, what we want to do. But it will make it, it'll fit, and it should drive up there, the whole drive to get to the park will be nice. And the other, I'm gonna do a complete accounting of the other projects, see exactly where we are, what kind of money that we've spent, and figure out where we are. Budget, I think, is pretty much in line. I think it's over a little bit because of, I think there's other offsets we have. So in the end, I think we're gonna have some. We didn't spend anywhere near what we spent, our portion on that. So I think there's gonna be funds available to do some other things. I did talk to Ramsey about doing it themselves. They'd have to, because they moved everything out, he said you can take anybody's number, triple it or quadruple it, because I'd have to bring everything back.
Yeah,
And I
just the
don't,
mobilization costs alone.
I think it's too small for them, doesn't mean anything to them. He said, if I would have done it when I was doing everything, we could have kept going, but it's a different ballgame.
Mhm.
So
Didn't realize the time that they
Yeah.
would stop right there.
Yeah.
Else would have brought it up sooner, but
And I get, I give Stern because they conceptually did things. They said, if you put sidewalk all the way down, you'll be driving semis over it all the time, it ain't gonna last. So it makes sense, and it really will look good, but we'll just see what the number comes in. See what it comes in. I think everything one other thing, I do have 3 different companies that like to come here now, if I can find a place to find them. 3 different size companies, one of them pretty good size. We still have a lot of interest in the city. Our issue is where do we put them? We do have one company that would even consider building. And we have a piece of property down on Ice House Road between Lynn and Dave Gray that might accommodate this guy if in fact he has it built. He's not adverse to it, I can tell you. And what he wants is and that they're not readily available. I think you got 4 of them and 4 things that would accommodate him and 2 of them are major manufacturers. They're not, so that isn't going to happen. But there is, I think, a couple more buildings that we're going to make. And I'm going to show them all. And I got some things for you, but they don't have to be here, but one thing we'll discuss in executive session, because again, it's a real estate issue. But,
Okay.
So that's my report, and then we have some things for executive session.
Okay, I'll take a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion. We gotta come out with this first, right? Or no? No.
no, you enter a motion to enter into executive session. So motion by Ed, second by John, all in favor? Aye.
We are now
Emma, can you call in?
Yeah, what, should I just call the IDA?
Yes,
Okay, yep.
thank you.
Regular session,
No,
We're muted.
Because we're muted.
I think it's from the other, somebody that's on the issue.
Give me a bit of that. Oh, she's back.
Yep.
So, not on there.
Yeah, she's on the phone.
Perfectly, Mike, for the 10 years, I don't have an issue with
That's
it.
fine.
Because we all, it's one.
Yeah, I was just saying,
And frankly, the shared service. She's invaluable, she really is.
well, my thought was give them more and not really have a commingled table.
I don't know what, I don't know why they didn't. That's what they want it for. I want the rest in minutes and that's, and I think they were more concerned about a place to live than they were about.
I would agree. That's part of the concern.
okay, moving right along. Mike, you're gonna do a 12-month lease with Erie Line. Very old business.
So we need a motion to authorize the executive director to enter into a 12-month lease agreement with the new owners of Erie Line and Fee.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
they are gonna change the name, but they're gonna go to the city and make sure it's whatever sign they use. That's all. That's where you're going.
That'll just be a.
Or he's gonna be on here, that's not right or no.
Can I have a second? Ricky, any questions? All in favor?
I
agree.
Should somebody be in here, whoever takes the notes?
That's what I'm making a note for Marge, because I don't think she's gonna be able to hear it over that.
Sherry Lee.
Yep, so motion, who was the first? Motion.
Come out of executive.
Mayor, no one second.
Second there and then first and second for the total motion. And then a first and second to come out of third. Then you're right.
Okay.
You don't need me at all tonight, right?
No, we're all set.
Any old business? Any new business?
Still. Do it for this.
All you get.
We kind of already did.
These are, yeah, we've already, well, we really have to. All you have to do is give me authority to approve the sale agreement with the chamber using those bullet points and whatever legal. The only thing they'll add is legally. And if Harris Beach told me you're missing something big, I'll tell you guys before I do anything with it.
So we're just agreeing to these terms right now, not the actual,
Yeah.
it's not the actual document,
Right, we're gonna sign the actual documents.
it's not the contract.
Yeah, and we got that. I mean, the chamber don't meet till next Monday. Then they got to vote, but by then I'll get for all the draft written. Using those. And then what will you do? Will you put that in the, we need a deed, right? Is there?
Yeah, because I can do all the legal work as far as the transfer of title and all that stuff. But I just like Harris Beach to put the agreement together so that it make sure that it complies
Will
with.
agreement be part of the closing documents?
Wouldn't be anything that would be recorded or anything like that. So that would just be like your purchase contract. You know, the rest of it would be the normal stuff.
Sounds good.
Chris, you need a motion to authorize the executive director of the IDA to enter into an agreement with the Chamber of Commerce to the following as laid out on this document.
I'll make that motion.
Rick, you second it? Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Pass.
Like I said, if anything made on it, I'll look at it anyway.
Anything else under new business? Get a motion to adjourn.
So move.
You're now adjourned.
All in favor, aye.
Thanks, Emma. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.